like what a style chi, you know, raga dance your time ya lita kutenyonga waliyo Queen Bella yali akola dance at that time ngatanda bamutunda bulungi nenga wakabi mwana. I loved her performance, I loved her delivery. She's amazing, she's so tactical, you know, ngomuwulira bwaba when she performs in the music, the production for that time, she was really amazing. Nenga nempuliza style zo nezaliwo natandika nembikoye nendabanga sijawo bulungi nnyo, you know. So I went to studio ne ono muganda Bobby Wine, Mickey Wine antwala mu studio ngalesa kayimba akadanso nagamba ngatukole wamo. And at that time ngasimanya nakumanya nti nsobola okukola dancehall. Nagamba ndoze dobozi yolinza okola ki okukola dancehall okuyingira mu studio twakola ne Pademan nyingira mu studio newulira and I loved the sound. I like how my voice came out. And I remember Pademan kept on saying, take a mukumani, take a muko attitude. And at the end of the day, when he played back my voice at me, you know, I loved it. So when abatampulira, wano, can you switch to Facebook? Wabanga tompulira ku TikTok? If you can't, if the network is not so good on TikTok, can we switch to Facebook? Is Facebook clearer? It is, eh? Obanga tompulira ku TikTok, please can we switch to Facebook? I want to make sure mwana mumpulira. So where were we? Twali mu studio ne Mickey Wine. So nempuliriza no music twakola lumba #1. We are the #1 Mickey Cindy, now we are mash up the nation. So I listened to myself and I liked it, you know. Style njagala. I feel like I can brand it. Nge matchinga obulalugo naliko, you know, my edge and how I was dressing. Then I can't indicate dancehall. So I'd like to just big up Mickey Wine for introducing dancehall into my life, because when I nariba do we got dancehall, because dancehall defined me, gave me a style, gave me an identity. So that's Mickey Wine kind of discovered the king herself, discovered the dancehall artist Cindy, and that is how dancehall was born. When I heard that, I said, this is what I want. This is what I want to sound like, how I want to look like, and that's when I look at Andy Wange. So nenkulawo until twakole nyimba how many times do I have to say? Did na wewe nemululiza nende terwakwata obulungi mpaka bwe nakola ayocha. Ayocha was my breakthrough. That was 2008. And again, ne Washington, you know. And let me just tell you something about Washington. Washington is a perfectionist. In a way, sometimes that is very annoying. So Washington is the type like bwabanga kukolera mood ye first of all inokubira right. So sobola okuva eno traveling okujokula Washington omutuukako nagamba webale kujja naye siri mu modo okitegeera kati tukole ncha, you know. And sometimes you can actually do that for a week. Then sometimes you say, you know what, I'm at studio naye mmere gye bampadde wano teoma ndetira KFC oba ndetira chila. All this contributes to his mood okitegeera. So he has to be in the right mindset. And at first chayichinyiza, you know, because he would send me for staffing, but at the end of the day I understood him as a creative. After some time I understood nti omuntu agala kubeera comfortable akuwe ky'oyagala, akuwe amaanyi ge gonna buli kimu akiteke. So tayagala kubanga enjala emuluma oba alina kyayoya oba ki atolina okusooka okubisortinga ebyo byonna n'alyoka atula mu studio nakubira beat, and just nobody has been better than Washington in production, at least in East Africa, for me. That's my personal opinion. We have so many good amazing producers, but Washington has something about him. So when Natulane Washington, he helped me to yatulia attitude yange nze ng'omuntu n'alyoka agiturninga into a sound. And that is how we got into Ayocha Ayocha. Nzijukira the first time when I wanted my first version of Ayocha Ayocha, nezijajali nyatulanga nida sijagala nangamba tuulaawo kwenda kubira no beat damo wandike, you know. And he told me, I want be free with yourself, stop fearing, stop trying to please people, njagala tuulaawo, take your time, nino budde. So nangamba ntule kole chimpandike nandika mu studio naline Daphne manager wange mu time yon bona ne bandika mu studio nangamba just write, be creative. So nentulaawo, you know. I took some time to just meditate, think about what I want. nempandika yocha, you know, as the beat was playing, I started to write the song and everything. In fact, when the original version of yocha, you won't recognize it. It was so different. Then when I that beat na I sat there and it started searching my heart, searching my mind, you know, and I got yocha, and that was my breakthrough. I wrote it. I think we recorded it in 30 minutes or 40 minutes because I was excited about the song. I felt like I'd found a new sound, you know, everything just seemed good. Netulukola after wetwalukola nakubira ba promoter mu kibuga agamba gwe oliwa ndi wano mu studio eno jangu ulize kana kayimba twali recording that very day ba distributor ne bajja ku studio that very day at the end of the day na mastering and alubawa in 24 hours Ayochacha was a national hit. Like, I don't know how we used to do these things, but in 24 hours, Ayochacha was everywhere. People were calling us from Moyo, from Soroti. This jam, this amazing song, and like it was amazing for me, and that for me was like a confirmation. You know, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. You understand? Like, this is the sound. When people see it, they connect it to me. They connect it, and Ayochacha did so well. So Washington defined my beginning with the sound that he gave me. Nakola one and only, Nakola total satisfaction. But I didn't my sound. So makati abayimbi ne batandika, you know, okukopa sound yange, and that when that was copied so much, I need to venture out there, you know. And I started working with different people. Katinga whatever J.O.B. Yakola Pate. Somebody say eh. So he did Yakola Pate, Nakola now when the puppet and look at them saying want some more. Do it again. I'm like, oh my Lord. Nakola nyimbe zuri nadala. So I said, you know, to work with different producers, tinayo time nali exclusively nganewandikira ngasagala muntu yena kumpandikira because I was still defining my sound, so nobody could really write for me, you know. And I've never write abanja along the way, but somehow even me had not found myself, so ngatisoa kukiriza muntu mera kumpa sound. So that is how my music started to change, started to venture into different types of music, you know, because I'd introduced myself in Taniko Kunsima, you know, stuff like that. Netukora concerting Sokira Dara. But the mistake I made in the beginning of my career is Sakura concert time Ayochacha, because that was the perfect time to do a concert. At that time, I promoter mwana tebansikirizamu sina kajabulunji oshtegera all the point I approach like we don't think you're ready. At a promoter time everybody batono nnyo, there were really few. So when they actually refused to invest in a concert when I did Ayochacha. Then when I call Amateka, I've been there, you know, gabanda byako myaka ngeviri. Whenever I'm blue 3 abantu balina kino ekintu nti tutagenda kuwangala oshtegera tumwade mwaka gumu myaka ebiri aja kuba video. So they waited. You know, when I got to Amateka, like, okay, she's been here for 2 years. So, you know, maybe she's serious. And that is how I did my very first concert. Twali ku katikati. Nenkola Amateka concert. In fact, your concert was so full of miracles. Somebody's calling on this phone. That show was so full of miracles. Nagenda nenjogera ne sechanzi over silk events. Njakola show naye akasente I don't really have money for this, you know. I don't know how to do this. Sechanze from the very first meeting was like njagala kuyamba katitula wano tulabe how to get this money together. And then guy yakola show yange nava mutini nyine ya sechanze naga, you know what, I will do the production to jafuna engirije tuwebalamu. And he came into the show and took care of literally everything. Concert yange ya soka ate bwenakola concert team ya silk events ne later sound gunalisuliranga ko at least in this country bakulya sound mulungi ngali crisp ngali clear. Netukula concert, it was successful. It was not so many people, but really telling number was I had about 3,800 people, and that was not bad at all. And actually later when I met Aggie told me that concert, she was there at that concert. We had never met, but she told me about the concert, like she enjoyed it. She traveled from very far just to come to the concert. So what happened in that concert, twice to akatandika show. I had not advertised a lot, go and I see in a budget. So it was atandika. People didn't know there was a concert. So when the show started, we had like 1,100 people. So as the show progressed, people started calling each other, you know, like, wait, in like 40 minutes, which that's why I feel like my fans are the best people in the world. In like 40 minutes, it was and like the next 1 hour, like 3,800 people. So at the end of the show, it was good. I saw it was successful for a beginner, and Katikati was not so big, so it was, you know, it was a decent crowd. Our career and for an artist, boba tonna concert, tosobola really to price yourself. Or say tosobola kuwa bantu be tegereke kanga bakwise ku show. Bomala concert, that's how you move from say 500,000 to 1 million shillings, because now that so, and that is how I could charge better, because at first one it was hard because of other artists charging me to but after my first concert, at least I got to move to, now I'm charging 1 million, 1.5 million, stuff like that for a gig to turn it out. And then I started getting awards. Time I try to win, apart from Pearl of African Music Awards, try to win buzz and abakola try to win awards endala cheza yao kadanke aliakola awards. I won so many awards. There are awards that came for 1 year. Hi people. Hi people also came along the way. The awards that we had for 1 year. I remember the one year that they gave people money and I received that money. But it was just there for 1 year and they left. I started getting nominations all over the place, in Kenya, in like different places, career and get tons of So when my career got to a certain point, then it took a time to the artists. Very many artists, female artists have a value, because when I turned a kid, I tried to win artists who were older, Juliana, Irene, artists like that. Then we started having a breed of young artists who dress, more bold like me, a lot like me, and sang music which was younger and dressed more, I don't know how to call it, inappropriately or younger. It's just the way that I was. Like I inspired a whole generation, or more boldly, because before that it was very different. So after that we had having other artists in the industry. At that time, then the competition began to get more and more. It became the music actually got better. I like competition because competition makes you go back and create more. It makes you more creative, more innovative, or tula or no was something new. That means at the end of the day, bafani bafuna mo chitegera kati industry time kokula, and then you start having you understand, like, they were not really labels, at least not more say about last time and dance or like young people. No, we had labels like Eagles Production, bands zalinga labels. There were no labels. So the Steve Junior, the first label kind of situation with Blue 3. Then from there emerged people like Swans Avenue, emerged people like TNS, like different camps, that came through and introduced artists into the industry. That is also the time that was on social media. Also the time that was on social media. Which made when I turned career and social media tell there was no social media. If you don't show up at a show, people will not know who you are. Marketing music, but you have to kuzunga. Because toina we're going to post music. Bloody agamba zapetegalio. Kati ngubaga webo oyagala abantu okutegeera olina okulabikako. Kati there's times they try to get shows nene katinga but hizo shows like Simba yalinanga show yayo ekikunda ky'omwa like the governor, please give me a chance atwegayira o backstage by give me a chance backstage give me a chance. Backstage but you give up take it. Then so you had to find a way to appear as many places as possible. As many places as possible to create. So I respect people wine like Juliana batandika mu time eyo that there were no avenues ez'okwe marketing, but somehow they still made it. Right now the artists are value, this thing is so easy for you. It's so easy for you. Ofuna page you can promote it. And also can faking for 2 years. Then after that people start getting onto your page because they see you have many followers. Somehow it's easier abantu kulaba. Naye edde bitu binatu byali omwana katinga somehow our big three they fought for this industry to stand, actually to start. Without them, I feel like Uganda would have taken a bit more time to introduce show business. Because before that, there was music, yeah, but it was not showbiz. It was not showbiz, like get people's attention and stuff like that. That's why for me, forever, I will respect them. I don't care what they got into, what we have different political opinions, all that doesn't matter for me. What I see when I see them, I see the foundation of showbiz in Uganda. Of course, I do not undermine people like about Tandikira Music One, or about Tulaga longevity, about Tulaga how to sustain a career, and Ngabo Laba Africo Band, who are performing this next weekend. On the 15th, you can't, all those people were there before, as a band, but the show business thing, the big three introduced it. That's how we got to know it. Omwimbo inokwejubisa kwambala bulungi charging a center, all that stuff bebatuyigiriza newajawo of course glamorous people katinga Juliana yatuyigiriza how to be glamorous, how to be carry yourself with grace, treat yourself like a queen, and people at the end of the day will pay for that. So many artists there, Makati, who like nurtured us into the people that we are right now. That's why I think for me you'll never find me on any platform nganzara people who are before me. Like I don't care what you say, they say it about me. Still, Njabwa I respect because of that. Because Singate laying the first bricks, Singate Tuli one with Tuli. So that's how the industry happened. And then after my concert at Dako, I think my next concert was actually Boom Party. I took a very...
A night with Cindy?
Yes, actually after that, we had a night with Cindy after 2 years. A night with Cindy. At a night with Cindy was not, how do I say? It was not, I didn't make so much money, but I also didn't have debts. Like
you broke even.
I broke even. So I was, so I introduced the whole idea of kati temples, kati bichi sente ngatuwa tuzongere mu katini. Ugandans were warming up to that. Kubanga ekintu bali bakikolera aba artist bali abalala sinze. Ostegera si style yange. They're like, oh, can this chick carry a show? I'm in Uganda for real. Bible was a favor raga artist to mani kuyimba. Which is amazing because it takes a lot for an artist to sing a dancehall song, because not everybody can carry the swag, can carry the energy of dancehall music. That's not for anybody. But somehow, banagana bali bamanyi nti omuntu aba yimbalaga okosi kuyimba. Kati nga omuntu abeera awogana okitegeera kati omuntu okuteekamu sente mbwazo okugula baze dancehall artist nayino kirwanira. So in that show I broke even. It's a show that I organized with my team. In that show, I broke even. It's a show that I organized with my team. That was the first time the Nagama Inchins and Neda Finik Gatao, Mariamu, and we did that show. And we broke even. Even if I can't say I walked away with money, but I walked away with how do you say, with my pride. I walked away with a new status. I want to have a sponsor, and they watched like, okay, this is good. And I felt like that was a good foundation to continue. So many things happened our Makati, so many hits our Makati until we go to 2020 when we did Boom Party. Boom Party, the escalator for Boom Party was apart from the music, there was this thing that started between me and the team at TNS. there was that thing that started our marketing, the conversation that we were having and stuff like that. So they created a talkability that I needed. And then when I released Copycat, Boom Party name, then Copycat, that was it. Copycat was so good that even haters were vibing to it. It was amazing. Bayagala Boom Party. Then we did Copycat, and then we were ready for Boom Party. And Boom Party concert was, I don't know, those I'm coming area that I just feel like I cannot take Siso Akugamanti Naturama Nachi market Boom Party needed at least 400 million shillings to market it properly, but then we used about 100. So we had to be creative, think outside the box. You know, I'd taken some time to gather this money, you know, because I wanted to do a show on my own. I don't kuva when I call a show a night with Cindy na take guarantees and to me and it's call a show. I learned from my mistakes. Exactly one thing I know what I want to do this independently. I never want to sell my show to a promoter, because we a promoter wa manyantino amagoba gayinza okufuna galinga 50 million agenda ku offeringa 6 million, or they're going to offer you 7 million, and then in that process akugambe nga bwotali wakabinyo nga bwolowooza kugamba mbamwezala olingi nnyo okukola ne promoter. So nasalawo from that time ngamba olaba nakola a night with Cindy nzeka, and I broke even. That means I don't need a promoter. So to accommodate a Boom Party, we needed a bigger crowd. We needed more faith, more strategies, and we started to think outside the box. So twalumba echibuga. You know, one day we just put on my sneakers, my jeans, and a t-shirt in Chibuga, and that really worked out for us. Twazunga awali owino twagenda mu radio station genda owino tugenda ezo malls zoneza aliawo tuyitaayitamu nga tujjukiza abantu nti show yange eki Katoyo Kerere yanyamba nnyo ne tuyita ne ku zino malls endala, the ones which are nearer to the main road. We went through Sunset Arcade, Simanyi Chi byonna, Prime Complex, byonna bonna twabayitamu awo nga mbajjukiza bana show yange. And most people, it was actually their first time to see me face to face in India on Nyimiridde nabo. Never to see Manyo, we got to sell actually a lot of tickets just nga tuzunga mu Kibuga. And somehow that worked. From that day, amawulire aga Boom Party gatambula nnyo. Something I want to tell artists out there, kyenayiga mu time is that emisana Kampala abamu abantu akola business tunabitegera ku wall motegera. I didn't know that, but that's something that I got to learn. So during the day in markets into we know mu Kibuga awo ham nti nakawa olategera obutale bwentyo. People are doing business in the city in Misana. There are about 6 million in Kampala on a good weekend, a good Friday or Saturday. Then, like 4.5 leave, and then they go to their villages. So, Bogena Mchibuga to market your show in the weekend, you get a chance of meeting so many people at that time. So, it will be the Chibuga Okerede go to Aleka, Obulia jokes, Sugulasma, Bazekusala Sidi, Bazegula Tete, Chinga Basanga Gamawida Muchi. Musite nga bagasange yo downtown. So tetwalina budget nene mbogenda mu radios, TVs, which is so TVs eno ba capitalizing anyonyo mu kunvuma. You know, that is what they did most. Bali basinga dala kunvuma naye mu Kibuga nga bakola bo bagala kujja because natukayo kukitegera. Then nkirowozaako. At first of course I was worried because I was like almost every TV station and radio station mu kunvuma. You know, and everybody was like, this is the reason why she's never going to succeed. Reasons why Cindy tasobola oshtegera ye pima smile kwa melati smile chi omutimchala tashoba chikola akafu abantu mbati no kasonga. You know, like almost every radio station yali envuma buvume no gama tisigenda chikola, you know. Then nchirowoza ko mu process eyokunvuma ngashoba jogerako oshtegera mu process yo gama anti Cindy tamala akana kusima chibichi kagenda kukola show sebo keke kugundi ku agenda kukola show nga nebogera date ne venue buli kimu kati fana ali eyo gende bovumanga boyagala abategere nti agenda kubeera ki agenda kubeera wano kuluno. So mukunvuma they were actually marketing the show oshtegera chiuza ko ngabooke matches bali kunvuma. In the same way, bali kutambuza ki bali kutambuza show. And then bamala okunvuma balina okuzanya music wange obviously because omuntu gwovuma olina okuba at least ng'omudefining nga mbu y'ono. Ati okumala okunvuma bazanya ki bompate okitegeera then fani n'ategeera kati in that person ng'amanyi ki ku ngeri gye bali okunjogerako buli wamu I might not need to actually invest so much on the radios and TVs kambaleke basigere nga bakola ki nga banvuma waamu oyo process bali kutambuza erinnya lyange ze can concentrating ku muntu wa wansi because there is no radios and TVs tebagula ticket. It's very rare that ogenda funa nti TVs and radios bagambe no katugenda gula ticket atano nedda usually ba complimentary byabwerere you know or they want like a radio or a TV or something in return ntino kati otuwe table tukuwe airplay oba otuwe ticket west tukuwe kino. It's always a give and take. Naye omuntu w'omukibuga talina kintu ekyo mwana bw'osanga gaali ali eyo ali bibye atunda amasaati oba atunda t-shirt ze nakutuna gambe kyakujja nkuwagire oyo talina kyakusaba okitegeera tagenda gamba ngenda kusabira ngenda kuwagira sooka ongulireyo lunch oba ngenda kuwagira sooka oteekeyo zino bwezi bakola kino nedda ye aba akulaga ki love kati I concentrated on that on meeting people personally, creating relationships personally with people, because sometimes you can trust the fans more than you can trust media houses. So nachivako mnange nga bankubira tetuulira red ads ku TV tetuulira ads wano then nafuna ne ba presenter bankubira ne bangamba kati go tatusasula fe tugenda kuvuma okitegeera tugenda kulemesa mpaka last magamba it's okay muntu musigale ku ekyo like stay on your lane musigale nga munnemesa nga muvuma because in my mind I was like ne muwe process yokunvuma oyogera ku ki ku show. That's what I cared about. So it actually worked out for me at the end of the day. There were so many TV shows that people came and said, analyzing, and analyze why Cindy is going to fail. And I had articles on all papers, like all of them had articles with very many reasons. 5 reasons why Cindy is going to fail. 7 reasons why Cindy has made a mistake, might to do a show on this date. And at the end of the day, I'll talk about the date and the show and the song. So I looked at it in that angle. I was like, you know what, kati media houses, at the end of the day, tukira twafuna NBS yachugwako nga tubuzayo nga wiki biji. Nenziwera. Like 2 weeks to NBS gama ichi jangu tukoleche. Let's find a way to work together. So never call enough actually those 2 weeks, and they did amazing. And never tambuza ad, but they did what they could at that time of advertising a show. Onna kungalutuka. Zuka kumacha ngenda kola makeup kuchitu chuma costumes. Manager ankubira sawa nga 10. Ezo amunana. Ankubira sawa munana. Ankubira ngamba singe chiriwa toso achikiriza. Hamba chichunukira. Sawa munana. Like that had never happened. Nangamba twina line wabweru security temala. The people at the gates are not enough. The gates that we have, because we had planned to only use 2 gates. It has 6 gates, right?
Yeah, we use 1.
So our plan was if we tried to make it to enough about, but not like that. So we had like prepared 1 gate. Which take it a secret days on naga to 0 kings. Like this gate emala. Goroza tetwa kosa gate zono mukaga. We ended up using all the 6 gates. We had to call in friends' favors last minute. I go again, go wesiga. Gate, like we called people at the last minute, like stand here. Oba, for example, he's a carpenter. No mga imira no soloze sente ngabambi nikabwaita bibera nga mukwezi okubera ku gate tabibera nga tabitegere bya gate naye natula gamba kali sente meka kama ha ordinary 20 simayo gamba kali na imbidao. So what we had is a team at heart, like abali banjagaliza ngo omuntu betwateka mu gates. Of course we had a few mistakes but at the end of the day I made money at that show. I made, apart from money, I established the king herself on that day. My status was clear to the whole world. Like there's nothing now that you can say against my legacy. There's nothing. Like I sealed it that day, and I was like, today, now you can see it. I am the king herself because of the show that I'd done. I broke every record of the shows that had ever happened to you in this country. Like nobody until this moment has achieved my numbers. Like in a way, that show just really broke me out. Like, and I can't tell you, but this is particularly what I did. No, I just remember trusting God. I remember just waking up in the middle of the night and just looked in the sky. And I told God, I said, God, I do not have the ability to bring these people, but you do. These people are not, you know where they are, you know how to get them here. Me, I don't know. I told him I don't have the budget, I don't have the skills, nothing. You know, you're the one who knows. That's what I told God. I told God, give me your people. Let them come to the show because I have a good show to give them. You know, and I said, when they come, protect them, walk with them, may they, I prayed by there for all of you fans who came. I was like, may they succeed, may you give back the love that they've showed me. And I just prayed a simple prayer, but with all of my heart. And I said, this is what I want. That's why I remember when they would ask me at interviews, like, where's Sizechi? I would always say, Size Mukama, never find the bank. There was nothing else. No, it was my hard-earned money. In fact, Mr. Kuyo, yanyamba Mr. Kuyo So my husband was there for me, and he really helped me to save this money. I had a very, even now, I struggle with money habits. I'm not amazing with money, but he's amazing with money. He's a certified accountant and all that stuff. So, yanyamba to save this money until we got to the amount that I wanted. Because I told him, there's a Twitter guy, we need about 80 million, 85 million. I'm going to help you save the money. Every time he found money in the house, he would hide it. Or suddenly I'd be like, it's not a million, you know, so he helped me actually. And he saved 120 million for us to show. Without him, actually, that show wouldn't have happened. So nga tukola bomb party, nga tumenya buli record eliyo. You know, apart from having the numbers, we also had a really good production shot wakola nungi. And guy yakola production, I mean, may he rest in power, not just in peace, because we lost him. It's called Ivan. We lost him during this time of COVID and stuff like that. Nexus events at Tuamo, we lost him during that time. Guy, he did so much, like much as yes, I paid him, but he did so much more than the money that I gave him. Equipment later just for that show. So much that he invested, you know, to make that show work. And he had a dedicated team. I remember even our ads there's the last 2 weeks, yes, Sasulida. He was like, Cindy, I want you to do this. I want this to succeed. Kept on calling, like it really helped. I feel so bad that we lost him after that, because I was like, I'm going to work with Nexus events for the rest of my life because of the commitment to Jebali Bampade. Nampa stage yakabi ne sound enough for okubanti no sound yo mwali mpulira. Netuloka tukuba party kuolwo. Ochitegera tuloka tukuba party. I remember nageza okuleta ba artists bemuludde okulaba. Awo nanoonyeza Clever J, nanonya Coco Finger. Nanonya ba artists awo nga njagala omujja ku show yange muine ekintu ekipya kimukola kimulaba. And I saw that most of you really appreciated Clever J. You know, show nenyuma. And then also something that I want to say is that when I didn't tambuza show yange ngamba ba artists bampagire. But artists have a singer so like most of them just looked at me and laughed at me in the background because they're like, I don't know ye touch. Or take it or get them cut you. Like banzara or for even the artists who are around are like, and the business is just made out. Then all of a sudden, when the show happened, everybody was suddenly there, you know, to take a car. Like few artists who haven't done, but suddenly the artist yaja. Buli yangamba taliwo, smaya agenda kubera out of the country, smaya na show mobi alotajja kumalako. People came and the show became so packed, like buli artist wakabi yakola chiyaja nampagira kulast. And I don't say that in a way mbachanyiza, no. I say that because I am grateful. Oshitega programs abezo ndazi bayina baba bana kanyige mpite wachi. Actually, backstage we had a problem. Nimrod yajananga whenever artist banji singing posentia. Namugamba gwamanyi chisoti ngabo kulachi ngabo yagala kati kusina bude bono sina bude ngakati you do what you can do. If you can tell them to do one song, just geza ako ngabo sobola. Now what a program on just switching and then the artists were able to perform. And then they put a show and it was such a good show. I enjoyed that show. I was grateful. I was crying. My mother was crying. I remember I met Aggie backstage. I just looked at her in tears. Like I'd been holding these tears for a long time, and then I looked at her and I just negated and we did it. And then everybody, Whitney, you know, because like we couldn't believe. I think that we couldn't believe it us as star maker. Just us had pulled off that show. We had pulled off the biggest show that this country has ever had. And it was just us, you know. No promoter, no major sponsor, nothing. It was just us. Everybody was paid and I went home with some really, really good money, you know. And bomb party in Yambarachi, went to Yagua. And now, Makati, the Blue 3, of course, Bato, Smile Chi. And now finally I am ready for a royal experience. Okay, I'm ready to how do you say, to introduce the king herself. I think I became the king herself in the Boom Party concert. But now we're moving on from that and introduce to you now the levels that we are at right now, and that is the king herself. That's why I've called it a royal experience, because it's no longer just Cindy SANYU. It's no longer just Mrs. Okuyo. It is no longer just Cindy Ayocha, you know, and all those small things. No, it's no longer that. Now it's the king herself. So it's a royal experience. Every time I get to perform, it is a royal experience. Now I'm putting all Nikugata experiences and Gezona into one show, and show you my concert is it to Yamba to show you what I would have done if I had control of everything, like what I would have done if I had all the money in the world, because the chenaliagadde okola you show every time nti buli mundaba in the right light, in the right sound. Now of course tuba tulina okukola with different promoters buli omajja n'ekice, so concert ekuwa chance yo controlling ekintu as a creative. Noga nti kati kino kyenjagala njagala bano bamalayika baveenu simanyi njagala kikikole bwe njagala amazzi gayiika, like you get time to dream, and that's what we are doing for the Boom Party concert. And I'm glad that I'm working with Talent Africa, because nchimanyi nti bali, you know, bakafulumu kino ekintu. I'm sure nti baja kikola bulungi. So let's get into your questions. Fans are asking about the ad. What about the ad?
Where is the ad?
Ah, okay. Yeah. So thank you for your interest, first of all, in okutambuliza eno show. Mwebale nnyo, it's not every day that omuntu aveeri nga tali part of the team naga nti bana ad eri batwagala gitambuza. The ads are out, and we'll be sending them out tonight, and tomorrow you start receiving them, you start seeing them on TV and on radio. Things have delayed a little bit, but still, divine timing is divine timing. We're good to go. It's enough time. So the ad is out. You're going to see it really soon. Are we going to cut cake? Will we have time? Will we have time to cut cake? I don't know. I'm going to leave that to Aggie. Mogelene Aggie mwana. No, I don't know if we'll have time to cut cake. And then, what was your first trending hit? Ayocha was my first hit. That's how everybody knew me. Wali abatoba champita Cindy Ayocha na lero. You know, there are so many places that I get into. Nga nebo nyimba bompa techibantegera, nebo nyimba copycat techibantegera. And then when I do Ayocha, it's like, hey, you know. All of a sudden, Ayocha represents an era. Siso akubalira abantu omeka bangambye nti no, Ayocha mutwazaliro no mwana. Obaba daba meka. Angamba, they're inspired by the song Ayocha. There's so many Pokemon. Say, when you did Ayocha, that's the time I met my husband, or that's the time when we had a baby, or like Ayocha kind of represents an era. You know, there's so many things that happen during that song that people can relate to. Now, I got Ayocha, Vamu Chinonga, so watching that. When I go Ayocha, Kaduka, Kangen, if never customer, or when I go like Ayocha, so many testimonies. So, Olumba Wasigaramba to Nechi, Nale, adverts and banners, just check. Wherever you don't see a banner, let us know. Because we have our team out there of Kuanika banners. And as I told you, the adverts are going to start running. Where can we get tickets? We are looking for places, but for now, I'd say you at Cinderella Bridals, we definitely have tickets. We'll definitely have tickets. At Chaligonza, Nadala, the one in Chibuli, we're definitely going to put tickets. So those are the places you can start from. But otherwise, did you write me the numbers?
Yeah.
But otherwise, let give me these numbers that you can call. Otherwise, you can call. Are you writing somewhere? 0773 451 008. That's on MTN, or on Airtel 0749 41 84 81. Can be them Mulugana. Note. Note musanvu satu anamu tanu mu noti munana. MTN ku Airtel note musanvu nya mwenda anamwemu chinana munya chinana mwemu. That's the Airtel. So you can
ordinary?
Call about the tickets. We have tickets. Ordinary is still at 20,000. VIP 50,000, and a table is at 3 million. Okay, so for right now, we want our real fans to be mugule tickets. I'd love just to get your support. This time I need your support. The last time I did a concert was 5 years ago. So just come in and support us. We'll absolutely appreciate that. Here was the video. Will you perform Locomotive? You guys, do you know I barely have a verse in this song?
Collect all the girls.
Eh? You want me to collect all these people?
Yeah.
What is Rabadaba? He has almost one of the best verses in that song. Of course, we lost the legendary Radio. Everybody else is here.
Yeah.
All of them are.
Everybody else is here, right? It's a good idea. Let me make the calls and see what we can do. Otherwise, I just come and whistle.
Say it's another one.
Yeah, come and whistle and say it's another one. Going straight to number one. Yeah, so I'll consider performing Locomotives. I'll make those calls and see if we can, perform it for you. I would never perform that song. Okay. Can you speak Lugisu? No. No, I cannot speak Lugisu. I can greet. I will not go hungry. That for sure. I can ask for food. What else can I do?
Thank you.
I can thank. I can say Wanyala. I moved to Mbale when I was 10 years old. Before that, Naliwan, I was living with my mother at the police barracks in Tinda, because my family was, in the forces, both my mother and my father. So we moved when I was 10. So most people think I started my life in Bali. No, I started my life here. So we moved because mom was transferred. When they give you a transfer. Then we went to Bali when I was 10 years old. So I'm not Gishu, but I feel like Bagisu raised me, That's where we built our mother's first house. That they literally raised us. So it feels like home. That's why our very first house, we didn't go to mom's village because she's from Teso. So we could have gone to Soroti Serre, but we did it in Bali because we felt like, like in Bali. Yeah, it felt like home to be there. It's not because I'm Gishu, but because the Gishu people showed us so much love. We felt like, this is home. So, but I'm not Gishu. Sidi, Obakubegan or anything, they're beautiful people. That's why I love it. And mom loves that house more than any other. But I'm just not. My mother is from Teso, my father's a Nyoro Frat. So that's Masindi and Soroti Serre. So I'm a dangerous mix of the East and the West, yeah. Who's the producer that you think is second to none? Washington. That's Washington for me. I mean, all producers, I work with only the best. That's the truth. I never really work with somebody that, Wese Sika, I won't work with you. But for me, the person that still sticks is Washington. And the special thing about Washington is looking at you and picking a sound for you according to how you look like, how your personality is. That's the gift that Washington has. It's not about just the beats and all that, because that is easy to create after you understand the artist. Most artists that you touch, most producers that you touch fapo, agamboze, nakolaki nakusiibula n'ogenda. So Washington actually looks at you, sees what is good about you, and then he creates a sound about that. And I feel like that's a special thing about him, Naledo. He makes a signature sound for you, and it's always very hard to wow. You know, when he creates a sound for you, it's really, really hard. People are asking a lot about the marketing of the show. Let me just let you know, rest assured, we're working on it, okay? We're working on it. The press conference will be communicating that soon. At least you'll know by Tuesday when the press conference is going to be and where. Are we having a Serena show? You guys, I am very skeptical about Serena. You understand? It's very hard to do a venue of 1,500 people when you have had 20,000 people. Like, it's very hard to narrow my mind into performing for just 1,500, 1,600 people. And I think that's something you can understand. Like, if you have the potential of getting 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people, why would you limit yourself to 1,500? Like, why? Like, Sichi, I don't know. Maybe at a certain point, I will feel like, you know, just for the Serena Jaji Kola. But it is very hard for me after achieving that much success. I tend to come and limit myself to a smaller place, a smaller number of people. I don't get the logic. But, you know, I've seen people say that, but put yourself in my shoes. Would you do that? Like, if you could make 100 million, then why settle for a market to come up 25? Like, why would you do that? You know, I don't get it. I mean, make it make sense for me. I understand artists who do shows in Serena, and they're amazing, they're beautiful. It's smaller, it's cheaper, it's easier to do. So the production then needs so much. You don't need so much money to do it. You don't need so many dancers. It's not so much that you need to do a Serena show, and I understand the comfort that is in Serena. But the issue with me is that natandikira more numbers and then natandikira open spaces. And when I made it there,
And do a listeners party.
Maybe a listeners party, maybe album launch, maybe like, you understand, like something just to introduce an album to you, something intimate, small, and then we do that. But otherwise, I don't know what you guys feel like, because, you know, if you sit in my shoes, like, what would you do? You know, what would you do about that? That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. And you guys know how to get my statements, then turn them into other things. But put yourself in my shoes. You know, like, why would you do that? So for me, it doesn't. You understand? It doesn't make business sense at all for me. But maybe I'll do that, like, for smaller things. Listeners party in here, or want to maybe I'll take that to Serena.